So we're back. We just want now to know, and we knew that interest should equals the interest equals the principal multiplied by the rate multiplied by the time. And we said that the rate is a percentage and the time in years. If you have the time in months, you will change it to years by dividing by 12. If you have the time in days, you will divide by 360, which are the year days without the 65 or 66. We call it the commercial year days. So if I want any of them, as example, if I want the P only, then the I there alone divided by the R by T. This is how it works. Here we go. The P, I will keep the P only aside, and I will move the R and the T to the other side where the I. Down the I here. And this is the equilibrium of it, how it works. Same thing. If I just want the T, if I want T, the same thing. Look at this. The T here is here. So I will keep the T on this side the way it is, and I will take the P and R, put it in the denomination of the I. How it will look? It will look like this. T equals I, which is there, divided by P in R. I divided by P in R to get the T alone. That's the way it is, and that's how it works. T equals I by P in R. I is the interest, the amount of the interest. P is the principal, and R is the rate of the interest. Now I am telling you this example. Calculate the principal amount of money if interest was $5 and the time was 1 year, with 10% rate. Okay, how we will do it? How we are going to do it? Same thing. We'll do it the same thing. We'll do it the same work. Okay, what is the work which we do here? The work which we will do here is just our work. Let me take these papers out. Okay. Now, how it works? It works like this. Calculate the present of the principal amount of money if the interest was $5. So the interest was $5, only $5, and the time was 1 year. With 10% rate. I told you before that 10% equals like this way. It should be like this way. 10% will equals the 10% will equals 0.1 or 10 divided by 100. This is the 10%. Okay. Then here we go for our example. You want the P. And we said before that P equals I, the interest, the amount of interest, divided by the rate of interest, multiplied by the time. It's like, whenever you want something, we have 4 variables. If we must have 3, so we can extract the number 4. As example, if I want the P, it will be I by R and by T. If you want the R, it will be I by B divided by P by T. This is how we said before. Same thing in this example as well. And this example, so we will say here the P equals the amount of interest I divided by R by T. Here we go. So the amount of interest, I know that it's $5. It's $5. And the rate of interest is 10%. And I said 10% will equals 0.1. 10. It looks, those are 3 forms for the same thing. 10% is the same as 10% is the same as 0.1 is the same as 10 by 100. So here we go. Here is the 10%, 0.1 divided by 1. What is the 1? Because we said for 1 year. So here it is. Then when you do it with the calculator, it will give you $50. The amount is $50. So there are 4 variables in this formula. You have to know 3 of them to extract the fourth one. And that's it in this point. And I will give you also some examples, more and more examples. The more you solve in these equations, the more you will be better. Okay, let's see this one. Calculate the rate of interest if the principal was $300. So the P here is $300. The interest 10 means that the I amounted $10. And the time is the T. T was 180 days. I told you before that 180 days, like you see here, 180 days, we will divide it. If you give me days, I will divide it by 360 because the unit of the formula is in years. The time will be in years. So if you give me days, I will convert or switch the days into years. So I have 180 days, I will divide it by 360, so it will be half year. Like you say, don't tell me 365 or 366. This is another field. We are talking about the commercial year, which is 360 days. It's not a big year or a small year, 365 or 366 days based on February, whether February is 28 or 29. No, it is the commercial year or the business year, which is 360 days. Okay, now we will move on to the other step of the discussion. Then we will get the rate. I want the rate. So the rate will be the I is $10, divided by the principal, which is $300, multiplied by 0.5, which is the time, half a year. When you finish all this with your calculator, it will give you 6%. It will give you the 6%. And this 10 divided by 300.5, then it will give you 6%. And this is the solution of the second example. Let's move on to this kind of examples, and it's also the same idea and the same in everything. We have the same idea, we have the same work on it, but it's considered like you can consider it like 3 exercises in one exercise. It's very composed one, but it's very easy as well. It's not that hard. A person deposited the following amounts. Okay, the first amount was $1,000 for 6 months, simply with a simple rate of 4%. So this is alone is an example, an exercise. The second one, he also deposited $300 for 30 days with the simple rate. S means simple, so S simple rate of 10%. Okay. The third one is $2,000 for 2 years. He deposits for 2 years with a simple rate of 5%. So what I want here, I want you to calculate for me the sum of the interest. This is the first point. The sum of the amount at the end of that periods. So I want 2 things here: the sum of the interest and the sum of the whole amounts. Like as example, you put in the bank this money, so you have now your principals or your original plus the interest. This is the whole sum. We want to get the whole sum as well. So we want to get the interest, the sum of the interest for the 3 amounts. For those 3 amounts, we want to calculate first. So our step plan here is to calculate the simple interest for the 3 amounts. Then we will go to say the whole sum, which are the principals plus the interest, which should be the principals plus the interest. Let's go for the first step. So here now, because the dates, the rates are not the same, and the time is not the same. See the rate here, 4% on the first one, and on the second one, 10%, and on the third one, if you can see, 4%, 10%, 5%. And also, the dates are not homogeneous. So we have a date, one is 6 months, the other one is 30 days, the other one is 2 years. And the amounts, of course, are different. 1,000, 3,000, 300, 2,000. So those are considered three exercises in one exercise. How I will do this? That's fine. Very easy, we can work on it. We will consider it like we have 3 examples. We'll put them all together in one solution. How we will do this? The first amount is $1,000. It is deposited for 6 months. We said as long as he gave us months, we will divide the months by 12. Because it can't work as months. Okay? Then, so 6 by 12 means half year. Divided by the rate of interest here is 4%. This will give me, when you do it with your calculator, it will give me $20. Second amount. The second amount was $300. This is given in the example. And the amount was 30 days. 30 days, like here, 30 days. So I can't work on days. I have to divide it by 360. And the interest rate was 10%. 10%. So this one you do it with the calculator, it will give you $2.50. It will give you $2.50. How about the third amount? The third amount. Cool, that's fine. The third amount is the interest. The third interest will be $2,000 multiplied by 2 years. Now I won't divide on anything because it's already years now. In the days we divided by 360. In months we divided by 12. But if it is year, keep it as it is. 2 years you won't divide by anything. It's 2. It's 2 multiplied by 5%. The 5% is the rate interest of the third sum. This will come to $200. Now you know the rest. I have to calculate all the amounts of risk. Suppose that you have 3 different accounts in 3 different banks, TD Canada Trust, and you have an account in whatever, in Montreal Bank, and you have account in another bank like, as example, CBC. And you deposit these amounts with different rates of interest and with different times. So they are 3 non-homogeneous examples all together in one example. So now what we will do here, that we will add together the sum of the interest. The sum of the interest, like you see here in front of you, sum of the interest will be interest number 1, which is the first one, and interest number 2, which is the second one, and the interest number 3. So what we will do, the interest number 1 is $20. That's fine. The interest number 2 is $2.50. That's good. Then the interest number 3 is $200. So all of them will come to 2.5. $222.50. Okay, so this is the first request in the equation. This is the first thing he asked me, which are the sum of the interests. The sum of the interests. That's fine. I got the sum of the interests. But what is the second one? The sum of the amounts at the end of that period. So the sum of the amounts here is the interest plus the original. So the original amounts plus the interest. So how I will calculate it? Like this way. That's how it will be. The plural, or the sum of the amounts, will be the principals or the original amount, the originals, which are those, the 1,000 and 300 and 2,000, the main amount which you deposit in the bank, plus the interest. So the 3 amounts, 1,000 plus 300 plus 2,000. Also, you will add to them your own 222.5, which are the sum of the interest. So at the end of these periods, you will have $3,522.50, and means $3,522.50, which represent all your money. Your originals plus the whole interest, which you put with different rates for different times, maybe also in different banks or in the same bank, it's okay. So this is how to multiply. So it looks like here, it's very clear that I'm giving you 3 examples in one example, and including also different rates, and at the same time, different amount of time. Don't forget, if it is year, keep it as it is. If it is months, I gave you in months, you will divide by 12. For months, you will divide by 12. If it is for days, you will divide by 360. Thank you. Thank you.